This is Jarrod Horak for the RunawayHorse.com, and in this week's Kentucky Derby 2021 video, I'm going to cover 3 live long shots for the Derby. Last week I covered the 5 most likely winners, so now this week we'll do the 3 live long shots. And if you're interested in my Kentucky Derby Day full card analysis from Churchill Downs, you can find that over at the RunawayHorse.com on my sales page, Kentucky Derby week, after they draw the post positions. I'll have that product available. That's my annual full card that I always cover on Kentucky Derby Day. So over at the RunawayHorse.com next week, I'll have that. Now let's jump into this video, and I'm going to cover the 3 live long shots in alphabetical order, and I'm going to begin with Highly Motivated for trainer Chad Brown. The sire of this one, Into Mischief. A Warrior's Reward, the dam sire. I'm a bit concerned about the 1.25 mile distance, but then again, that's why he's a live long shot. He's not one of the favorites. I think other people feel the same way. They paid $240,000 in the Keeneland 2018 sales for this one, and he made his career debut in the mud at Saratoga last summer. And in that 6 furlong race, he rallied from 7th place in a 9-horse field to finish 2nd by a neck. So that was a good effort in his debut. Second time out, he went from 6 furlongs to 6.5 furlongs at Belmont Park second time out. And in that race on a fast track, he stalked from 4th place in a 9-horse field, and he pulled clear to win by 1 3/4 lengths. He beat Known Agenda that day. That one's also in the Kentucky Derby this year. In his 3rd career start, the Nyquist Stakes on the Breeders' Cup undercard on November 6th at Keeneland at 6.5 furlongs, fast track from the inside post in an 8-horse field. He stalked the pace, took over, and he won by almost 5 lengths. Your 2nd and 3rd place finishers were next out winners in that race. So he had a good race that day. And then also, out of all the 2-year-old races that were run at Keeneland Breeders' Cup days, he had the fastest speed figure out of any of them, and that's including Essential Quality, who won the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. So he proved that he was a fast sprinter in his 2-year-old campaign. Then they wanted to see if he could run longer in his 3-year-old campaign. And they started him out 1 turn mile on March 6th at Aqueduct, the Grade 3 Gotham Stakes, an 8-horse field there. And he bobbled at the start, and he had a bit of early trouble, and he was back a little further than they wanted him to be. And then he ended up rallying from 6th, and he finished 3rd, beating 1 3/4 lengths. He was getting his best stride in late stretch. He was the beaten favorite that day. Weyburn was the winner. A Crowded Trade, Highly Motivated stablemate, ended up finishing 2nd. So that was a decent enough effort, considering the speed didn't come back and he didn't have a good beginning there, and that was only his first start of the season. Solid enough effort. Then they stretched him out to 2 turns for the first time in the Bluegrass Stakes last time out, and he was meeting your undefeated 2-year-old champion Essential Quality, and Highly Motivated in a race with no pace, and he had never set the pace in his career. He just went out there and set the pace. He tried to steal it. Essential Quality was very close to him throughout. Those two, it was a match race. They just battled all the way through the stretch. And Essential Quality, he just had more seasoning. He had already run multiple 2-turn races, and he just had a little more seasoning and a little more stamina than Highly Motivated. And he was able to win that one in the late going, just edging Highly Motivated. But that was a solid enough effort, as I said. Now he's going to be making his 3rd start of the season. He's training well for this. I'm not sure how far he wants to run, but Chad Brown doesn't want him on the lead, and he figures that if he can just get him to relax a bit and stalk the pace, he'll have a shot. If he stalks the pace, the speed comes back, maybe he can get first run, and we'll see if he can get 1.25 miles. Not sure about the distance. Again, that's the major question with this one, but he's been very consistent. 5 starts in the money, all 5. He's got a lot of quality. It just we don't know how far he wants to go, and we're going to find that out in the Derby. The next live long shot in the 2021 Kentucky Derby is Mandaloun for trainer Brad Cox. Again, another one, the sire, Into Mischief. But this one has much more stamina on the dam side. Empire Maker is the dam sire. Empire Maker was 2nd in the Kentucky Derby of the year that he ran in it. I picked him on top that year against Funny Side, and then I bet him back in the Belmont Stakes, and he was able to turn the tables on Funny Side that day. So Mandaloun, excellent pedigree here, and he was ultra consistent before the Louisiana Derby, and that's why he's going to be a much better price because of that effort. So in his first 2 starts at Keeneland and Churchill Downs at 6 and 7 furlongs last fall, he won both of them, rallying from 8th in an 11-horse field on his debut, stalking the pace from 4th and winning against 9 rivals, 2nd time out. Then they wanted to stretch him out and put him on the Derby trail this year. and he had good success over the winter at fairgrounds. The Lecomte Stakes at 1 1/16. He stalked from the outside post. There wasn't any pace. Midnight Bourbon was able to control it and steal that race. Mandaloun was third, beaten a length. I picked him on top that day, and I stuck right with him in the Risen Star Stakes, and they added blinkers for the Risen Star. And in that race, at 1 1/8, he showed good tactical speed from post 10, and this time he was able to take over in the stretch and edge clear to win by 1.25 lengths. So that was a good effort from Mandaloun in that Risen Star Stakes. So then he was the favorite in the Louisiana Derby, and I stuck with him and picked him again, but this time he just didn't run his race. He was wide throughout, but that really wasn't an excuse because he was stalking the pace. He was in a good spot. He just retreated. He didn't run his race. He was 6th, beaten 11 lengths. Don't know what happened that day, but we already know he has good tactical speed. He's a graded stakes winner at 1 1/8. He's got a lot of ability and a strong pedigree, and he earned a quality speed figure in the Risen Star Stakes. Heading into the Kentucky Derby now, he seems to be training well for trainer Brad Cox, so his morning activity has been good. So it seems like he's bounced out of the Louisiana Derby in fine form. I don't know what happened that day. I guess you're just going to have to, if you like him, draw a line through it and hope he can run back to the Risen Star. And if he does, he could surprise and run much better than people think he will in the Kentucky Derby. Finally, my last one, live long shot. And I especially think this horse has a decent shot to hit the board. Not sure about winning, but I think I can see him passing tired horses and hitting the board, and that'll be Besos. Now this one is a son of Kentucky Derby winner Orb. Soto is the dam sire. Greg Foley's the trainer. He's been a good quality trainer on the Kentucky circuit for quite some time. This one, in his debut in the slop at 6.5 furlongs last fall at Churchill Downs, he was way back early. He didn't have a good start, and he ended up finishing 6th in that 12-horse field. Second time out, 5.5 furlongs, Rachel Ridgely, scheduled for the turf on a good track at Fairgrounds. He romped that day. In a 5-horse field, he rallied from 12 lengths back, actually, to win by more than 5 lengths. So then, in his first start against winners, he clicked again. 6-furlong sprint at Fairgrounds in January, rallied from 6th and last to win by 2 lengths. So he went last to first in that one. His stakes debut and first start around 2 turns within the Risen Star Stakes, and he just raced evenly that day. There wasn't a lot of pace. He was wide. And he ended up finishing 4th, beaten 7 lengths. Mandaloun, Midnight Bourbon finished well in front of him, and they're both in the Derby. And then in the Louisiana Derby, he ran a much better race. He rallied from the outside post. He was wide early, and he rallied from last to finish 3rd, beaten a couple lengths behind Hot Rod Charlie and Midnight Bourbon. But he definitely cut into the margin on Midnight Bourbon. Midnight Bourbon finished more than 5 lengths in front of him in the Risen Star, and then in the Louisiana Derby, Midnight Bourbon was only a head in front of him. So he's another one that seems to be training well. He probably wants every bit of the 1.25 mile distance, and these late runners that can pass tired rivals, they could be dangerous in wagers like the trifecta and the superfecta in the Kentucky Derby. So Besos, live long shot to hit the board in the Kentucky Derby, and then my other two were Mandaloun for trainer Brad Cox and Highly Motivated for trainer Chad Brown. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Make some comments in the comment section. Who do you think are some live long shots in this year's Kentucky Derby? Again, head on over to the runawayhorse.com if you're interested in my full card analysis from Churchill Downs Kentucky Derby Day. It will be available Kentucky Derby week over at the runawayhorse.com, and that will wrap up this video. I'll be back. I'm going to be covering some other subjects as we get closer to the Kentucky Derby, and I'll see you in the next video.